What's going on, everybody? So I was just texting with an old buddy of mine that I used to know pretty well in Phnom Penh, and he was asking me how is Mexico compared to Cambodia, and it's kind of a vague question. And we started talking about the food and the women and the cost of living and stuff, and it kind of just dawned on me that I should make a little video about certain categories comparing like Mexico to Cambodia. So I'm going to compare the food, healthcare, modernness, friendliness, worse traffic, road quality, reckless driving, quality of gyms, higher cost of living, overall scenery, the noise, who's more xenophobic, what has better sightseeing or where has better sightseeing, danger level, visa for Americans, women of course, who's fatter, who has more national pride. So that's what it is, 18 categories. So just before I get started, just a side note, guys, everything's going well for me. Still working my new job and everything, kind of getting acclimated to the, just to the new way of life here in Mexico. About to move into a nice new part of Mexico City, one of the most affluent, nicest parts of Mexico City. So that'll be nice to go to a much better neighborhood with more opportunity. Just more educated people, better quality of people. So without further ado, let's compare Cambodia to Mexico. All right, so number one, the food. In my opinion, Cambodian food is better than Mexican food, in my humble opinion. So when it comes to the quality of the food, the healthiness of the food, the taste, and the way you feel after, because like a lot of Mexican food is fried and like vegetable oil, canola oil. It's very salty. A lot of it's corn based, a lot of it's bread based. And that can make you feel kind of heavy. It can make you feel kind of like shit if you eat too much. So Mexican food's great, don't get me wrong, but if I had my choice, if I could only eat Khmer food for the rest of my life or Mexican food, I would absolutely eat Khmer food. It's healthier. It has less processed. It's just less processed. It's less. It's got less sugar in it, less grease, less fat. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely unhealthy Khmer food, but 100% Cambodia wins the food category. Healthcare. I don't even think I need to mention this, but Mexico City obviously has better healthcare than Phnom Penh. I got my surgery here, even though I could have gotten a surgery in Cambodia for my hand, which is healing up, by the way, as you guys can see. I got it here in Mexico City. The healthcare is obviously better in Mexico. Modernness. Mexico takes the cake on modernness, especially in Mexico City. Phnom Penh, not that I'm big into malls, because I'm not, but they have like one mall. It's called Aeon Mall. Here in Mexico City, you probably have 100 malls or more. Mexico City has world-class highway systems here. You've got overpasses, bridges. You got one of the biggest like subway lines in the entire world. The quality of the buildings here are made to withstand earthquakes. Mexico City is way more modern as far as their technology goes and just their modern amenities. Friendliness. Who's more friendly? That's a close one, but I have to say Mexicans are more friendly overall. They're a little more warm. They're a little more cozy. They're a little more like connected to you, I feel like, whereas in Cambodia there was always a bit of a distance. It's kind of like they're only nice to you if they can get something from you, like money or things. Who has worse traffic, Mexico City or Phnom Penh? That's a close one, but Mexico City it's just on a much bigger scale than Phnom Penh. Mexico City for sure has more traffic, 100%. 100% has way worse traffic. Road quality. Mexico has very modern roads. So Cambodia, there's definitely some good roads there in Cambodia for sure, but generally speaking, they're gravelly, they're full of potholes. Definitely some shitty roads here in Mexico as well, but there's a lot of toll roads here in Mexico. If you drive long distance in Mexico, it's only a matter of time before you're going to hit tolls, and the roads are supreme. They're absolutely perfect. They're totally smooth. They're top-notch quality. So road quality goes to Mexico. Reckless driving. What country has more reckless drivers? A close one. That's a close one too. I'm gonna have to say Cambodia. Cambodia, it's a saving face culture, right? So that means basically that even if they hit you and it's totally the other person's fault, they're most likely not going to admit fault or even get out to help you. And I saw that happen countless times. My mother, when she lived out there, she got hit by a car on her motorcycle. She got badly injured, and she had to make her way home by herself. And she was badly injured. It was really fucked up to see that, and nobody helped her. I got run over myself over there in Cambodia on a bicycle. The dude pulled a gun out on me because I got upset with him. I saw people get run over there and nobody got out to help. It's just more like, okay, I hit you, so get out of my way now. Here in Mexico, there's definitely some reckless drivers, but if there is an accident, then you can get help, basically. So reckless driving, Cambodia. Quality of gyms. Mexico for sure has way better quality gyms, better quality everything for the most part. Higher cost of living, Mexico City or Phnom Penh? I'm sure you can imagine Mexico City has a much higher cost of living. Now there are places in the city that are equivalent to Phnom Penh in terms of like rent and things like that, but that's nowhere near the center. Nowhere near the center. Like you're gonna have to live damn near on the outskirts of Mexico City to get a $200 apartment, or you're gonna have to live, I mean, it's here, but it's not gonna be in a very nice area. In Phnom Penh, like you could find a pretty decent apartment in a good area for no more than $200 a month, at least when I lived there a couple years ago. And everything else is more expensive here. I mean, the gas, the food, getting around. I mean, it's not way more expensive than Phnom Penh. It's not way more, but it's definitely more expensive. I mean, it's a major city, guys. Overall scenery, Mexico has better scenery. They have the beaches, the desert, the mountains, the jungle. Cambodia is more just jungle. You have some mountains, a lot of flat land, just a lot of flat land where they grow rice. Scenery goes to Mexico. Which city is noisier? Mexico City or Phnom Penh? Phnom Penh's way noisier, in my experience. Mexico City has noisy parts, but in Cambodia, even in the smaller towns, you can't go anywhere without hearing street vendors yelling to sell their food. Constant construction with like the buzz saws, hammers, it just motos. Phnom Penh is much noisier. A lot of noise pollution there. Who's more xenophobic, as in who is less open to foreigners coming? I don't really think either countries are, but if I felt that way ever, it's definitely been more so in Cambodia. Here in Mexico, they're pretty used to all different types of people coming because they're right in between Canada and the United States, and then right in between South America. Cambodia is kind of nestled in between Laos, Thailand, and Vietnam, and everybody there kind of looks the same. It's all Southeast Asia, so I just think they're not quite as used to foreigners coming there. But neither country is really that xenophobic, to be honest. As far as sightseeing goes, like for tourism, Mexico 100%. 100%. The only thing Phnom Penh's got is like Angkor Wat. You got a few small little towns, but generally speaking, there's like one or two places that people flock to in Cambodia. So, danger level. Mexico obviously has higher crime rate than Cambodia does. However, with that being said, since I've been here and I've traveled all through the south to all these different towns, all these different countryside areas, and I haven't seen 1 ounce of crime since I've been here. I haven't seen one bit. Whereas, despite the fact that Mexico has more crime than Cambodia, I actually saw crime being committed in Cambodia. I saw street fights. I saw people getting their purses snatched off of motos. I saw things like that. Visas for United States citizens, Mexico. In Cambodia, you've got to pay for like a visa on arrival. It's basically you got to pay them, right? Which, fair enough. Here in Mexico, as an American, I can come here for up to 6 months for free, and then I've got to leave the country for like a day or so, and then come back, and then it restarts for another 6 months, which I've actually got to do soon, by the way. Who has better looking women? That's a close one for me because I like I like fit in shape looking women. I'm not into like big thick chicks. Like some guys like big old thick chicks. I'm not really into that as much, which Mexico has a lot of. But Mexico has a lot of beautiful women too. I'd have to say, as far as the women, the attractiveness of women, it's close, but Mexico for sure. Mexico for sure. With that being said, who's fatter? Mexico, I believe, I think it's might be the fattest country on the planet. You know, a lot of people here, they like to drink Coca-Cola. They like their sugary drinks. They like their bread. They like their donuts. Mexicans generally they just look very unhealthy. They look very out of shape. Their bodies look out of shape. They don't eat very healthily usually. Cambodians are much thinner. They're more slender people. So Mexico's way fatter. And you know, in terms of women, you're going to see a lot of fat chicks here. A lot of fat chicks here, and a lot of fat guys too. But with that being said, there's still attractive people here, but it's not as common as in Cambodia. Who's got more national pride? Honestly, Cambodia does. I think that Cambodia is a lot more proud of their culture and their heritage, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're a small country, much smaller than Mexico, of course, and they recently had a major genocide, like with the Khmer Rouge and all. And I think a lot of that history kind of makes them more proud and like more prone to not wanting bad shit to happen to their country again. I think Mexicans are super proud too, but Cambodians are more proud. And all this, guys, I can say, I'm qualified to say because I lived in both countries. Lived there for 2 years in Cambodia. I've been in Mexico for almost 6 months now. So I definitely am qualified to speak on it. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you took something from it. You guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's @BraytonHoward, and that'll be in the description box and comment section below. Peace!